Hi there, my name is Philo Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And tonight is another one of the fantastic, the wonderful, the heartwarming tweet-alongs. This time it's going to be the Zygon Invasion, Zygon Inversion, the really, really, very, very good Capaldi two-parter, featuring, not surprisingly, the Zygons. Now, unfortunately, I'm kind of breaking my heart. I can't be on board. I can't be online with this tonight. I have two other commitments. I'm going to be on Blue Bonnet Hoovian, hopefully talking about Minuet and Hell, the Big Finish Paul McGann release. If I have time to listen to it, I've really got to push to listen to it before I go on that panel, because it's been years. It's been about 20 years since I heard it. It came out 20 years ago, and then right after that, I'm going to be on the TARDIS Zone with Noel, and we're going to be talking about the Empty Child, which great episode, really fantastic. So unfortunately, my commitments are that I can't take part, but it's a really it's a really good episode, really good story to talk about. And if I had my YouTube channel there, I would have made a ton of videos about it, because I think it's both a story that is really, really, really fantastically succeeds on so many very, very, very important levels. But also, there's one flaw in it makes it such a fundamental failure at the same time. So it's a really interesting story to talk about. Which is which I guess is what what we're going to be doing here on this video. That's what I do. Welcome to my channel. I talk about crap, mostly Doctor Who. Something else I do. I thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Thank you very much. If you can take a moment, click the subscribe button, that would really be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. I want to show you my appreciation. Now, if I can get myself together to do this in time, I'm gonna be. I put each week or two. I put up a different Doctor Who audio story that you can download. You can get it from the video notes. These are stories by a group called Audio Visuals that became Big Finish when they Big Finish were born. And a lot of times they make the Big Finish remake stories that Audio Visuals did. So if I can get myself together, I'm going to do the original Big Finish version of Minuet and Hell. Will be in the video notes. If not, it might be tomorrow. But I'm going to really push to get that done. Also, I give stuff away each week on the channel, but you got to be quick, because I'm giving these ones away tonight. This one away tonight. I'm giving away True Romance, really fantastic version of this movie. Two disc director's cut, fantastic extras, lots and lots of making of stuff, good commentaries. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, and then leave the hashtag. What's the hashtag? Elvis. As I said, I'm giving away tonight when I'm on the TARDIS Zone. And then we're going to pick something new to give away next week. I think I might give away a Doctor Who thing. I'm looking at Carnival of Monsters on my stack of DVDs I'm giving away. Where do all these DVDs come from, you may wonder? I moved into Blu-ray. All the DVDs I had that I then upgraded to Blu-ray, I now would normally put in the back of a closet or try and sell them on eBay. Normally badly and unsuccessfully. But what's much better? Give them away to you guys. So I'm really, I think it's a win-win for everyone. Fine. So again, tonight, fantastic watch-along, tweet-along. If I didn't thank already, organised by Emily Cook. Really, wonderful idea. And also, you inspired us as well, Emily. We did a watch-along, tweet-along last night of there were two of them of the Three Doctors, which I wasn't there, and Two of the Sidemen, which I was there for. Two great stories, and it's a lovely idea that I think just brings people together, which I am all on board for. I really am. I totally am. Fine. So as I said, tonight's the Zygon Invasion, Zygon Inversion. So what's good about the story, and then what's good about it is so freaking much. I think it's Capaldi when he really came into his own on the role. He really understood what he was doing in the. I think he always understood what he was doing with the role, but I think he made the role much more relatable in the second series than his first series. I think this was him doing a very freshly regenerated Doctor who's trying to find his feet, trying to find out who he was, trying to work out who he was going to be, and as such, he was very alien and aloof. And then coming from the the very warm and friendly Matt Smith, I think it turned a lot of people off, and it took till the second year when he became, I am the Doctor. I think when he came in on that tank in the beginning of that Dalek story with the sunglasses playing the guitar, which I know a lot of you hate. I love that. I just loved it, and I think I think that's when he really stepped into who his Doctor really was. I just wish we had more of him now. Because I've done a real major rewatch of him. So this story is when Capaldi is at his absolute Capaldi best, and I challenge you to like, just watch his performance. It's mesmerizing. I love the way you see these flecks of expressions and his body language. Suddenly becomes a Tom Baker, suddenly becomes a John Pertwee. Yeah, and you just see these expressions of these other lives there, and you completely buy that he is the same being that was played by Colin Baker, that was played by William Hartnell, that played by You completely buy that, and it's just a breathtaking acting achievement. And you've got to be such an incredible Doctor Who fan to do it and have the skills to, but to even notice it, it's just absolutely breathtaking. So yeah, that's the first really good thing. Very good Doctor. Second thing is the Doctor companion relationship with Clara. I think was pretty much at its peak at this time. Now, I didn't like Clara the first time round. In fact, I didn't really like much of the Capaldi stuff first. I didn't love the Capaldi stuff first time around, but I really didn't like Clara. Clara had turned me off by this point, and I've done a rewatch of her episodes, and now it's like it's rehabilitated her a lot for me. And I just think their relationship is really, really, really great in this episode. Again, I think there's only 2 or 3 episodes left where they're together, and yeah, I think it was sparking to the same level that you would see the Doctor and Tom Baker's Doctor and Sarah Jane, on season. Was it by the end of season 13, season 14 in the classic run? Yeah, it was just like this really, really, really good bonding, and they also had a very interesting relationship. Obviously that she really, really liked Matt Smith's Doctor and was very, very wound up in who he was and his whole arc. And it was in fact that relationship with Matt Smith's Doctor that made her stay around, I believe, for the Capaldi Doctor. And I think she would have left had she not got that phone call in was a Deep Breath, where when Matt Smith phones up mid regeneration and says, "Listen, I know he seems like a bit of a dick at this point, but he really, really needs your help." And her sticking around, I think, just made him fall in love with her to a level that we saw when was it towards the end of season 8 when the Dark Water, Death in Heaven, when she was going to destroy all the TARDIS keys, she thought. And but she was really dreaming. It was really like a dream pad. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Great episode. But he has this fantastic line. Cambodia has so many fantastic lines. Says, "Do you think your betrayal of me would change the way I feel about you?" And that is just so inspirational and so Doctor. And this is one of the reasons why I absolutely love this Doctor. He's very, very non-perfect. He has lots and lots of failings. He has foibles. He is short. He's he does put people off. He's not very, very warm and fuzzy. But his character, his incredible moral character just shines through. I'm a rabbi, okay, and I spent a good portion of my day studying ancient moral texts. I would say like texts on really going down on the fine level of morality and what is right, what is wrong, how to live your life. And still I find that many of Capaldi's speeches are there's a far clearer way of giving you an indication of how to live your life to be a good person. That final speech he had, kindness is always wise. It's just like I cleave to so strongly. I think it's wonderful. I just think it's a wonderful merger of Stephen Moffat's brilliant writing and Capaldi's fantastic performance. So you got this wonderful Doctor companion relationship. You have fantastic monsters, the Zygons. I think they were far more successful in this episode than they were when they first came in. It was the first episode we saw them back is the 50th anniversary, right? They're the Doctor. Now, I was a little bit disappointed when I saw them with the Zygon design. I thought they looked better in the original story, Terror of the Zygon. I just thought they looked less like costumes and more like aliens. I thought these ones look more like, I think their feet, actually. Their feet look like kind of just like they're wearing fake shoes. It's a weird thing to point out. That breaks it weird. But I think in this story, they worked a lot better. I think they got a lot of the weird like facial expression stuff they were trying out, and they minimized that. So okay, great Doctor companion relationship. Great monster, great story. It's such an entertaining story. It's so exciting. It drags you along. Who was it? Stephen Moffat, I believe. I saw. I was watching Doctor Who Confidential for Girl on the Fireplace last week, and his his trick of writing is I'm just trying to get the audience to stay around another few minutes before they turn over or decide to go to the pub. So I do something interesting every few, and that's what this story does. It gives you a crumb, and it drags you into the next bit, drags you into the next bit, drags you into the next bit, and it just rattles along at an incredible pace, and is so incredibly entertaining. What else do I love about this show? Fantastic cliffhanger! It's one of the best cliffhangers I could think of. It had again. I'm spoiling this if you haven't seen it, but you have the Zygon Clara tell the doctor that Clara is dead, the unit soldier Avery is dead, and then she fires a missile, and at the plane the doctor's in. Really, really, really classic cliffhanger. Absolutely wonderful. And most importantly, it had a really clever idea. Talking about very, very contemporarily this world, which is it was talking about the xenophobia that was said to be around in like 2015, 2016. I'm not sure how real that was. I really, really, really not sure how real that was. But the xenophobia that was said to be around against Muslims because of radical Islamic terrorism. It's weird now because it was only a few years back. But 5 years ago? But it seems like every other day you'll get stories of trucks being driven into large crowds of party goers somewhere, or like these crazy Islamic attacks. And I think I think much more than the reality. I think people were very scared that this would lead to anti-Muslim hatred. I really think that, but I think we're better than that. I think England is a better society. I think America's a better society. I don't think that anti-Muslim hate really materialized. But I think it was that fear that caused the one flaw in the story that makes despite all its many incredible successes, and it does have many incredible successes. It makes it, in my mind, a failure because it fails to understand the fundamental thing that it's talking about, which is the weird relationship between the Islamic world and the Western world that got at the time forced into, I would say, stark conflict by a bunch of stuff. But essentially, it was by well, it depends how far you want to go back. You want to say Obama pulling out of Iraq, creating ISIS. That in turn created, I think, the biggest mass migration in human history, where he ran screaming from Iraq as ISIS went. It went over the entire bloody continent, and they ran into Europe, which caused an incredible clash of cultures. Now, a way that I think people in the West dealt with that clash of cultures is to say, no, there was no clash of cultures. That if you say there's a clash of cultures, you're a racist, which is just a ridiculous idea, and a fundamental lack of understanding of the cultures of which you're talking about. Also, I think it's kind of an imperialist looking down your nose of the West, with the Western people looking down their nose at the Arab world's culture. Now, let's be clear. There are some extreme moral differences between the two societies. In the Western world, it's all about pluralism. It's all about self-determinationism. Whereas in the Arab world, there isn't so much pluralism. I know even saying that kind of feels offensive, kind of sounds offensive, but it's just the way it is. Being gay in the Arab world is not okay. Being non-Muslim in the Arab world is not okay. Now, you have different countries with different degrees there. You've got Jordan, you've got Egypt, where it's just kind of like vaguely socially unacceptable. It's like somebody farting. It's kind of, oh, you're not Muslim. But not a woman not wearing a hijab. It's not okay. It's just not okay in those cultures. For a woman to walk down the street in Syria not wearing a hijab is kind of, I would say, similar to a woman walking down the street in Texas naked. It's the same cultural, like, oh my god, this is incredible. What's going on? Yeah. And the trouble, and I think the problem that they were having at the time is by acknowledging these differences in Arab culture and Western culture. I think there was a real genuine fear it was going to cause xenophobia against Muslims, which again I think is nonsense. I think it's absolute nonsense. I think England and the Western and America and the Western society is just better than that. And I think I kind of was proved right about that. in hindsight. So, but the fundamental failure of this episode, from my perspective, is that that wonderful anti-war speech worked. That wonderful anti-war speech turned the evil Zygon Clara around, and she went, "Oh no, let's not." Whereas in reality, when you're dealing with radical terrorists, radical Islamic terrorists, they will not be turned around by a pretty speech. They just will not do that. They will kill you. They will, and I think that would have been a much more interesting thing for the Doctor to deal with. To deal with somebody who wasn't able to be turned. Who was somebody who wasn't able to see the error in their ways, and how the Doctor would deal with that. And I really think that would have said something really, really, really powerful. But again, I just don't think there was a way of society of Peter Harness and the creative the professional creative world to be able to process the idea that acknowledging the differences of Islamic culture and Western culture won't automatically cause Islamophobia, hatred of people who are Muslim. Because again, I don't believe somebody's going to start hating their neighbor because somebody who has the same weird kind of close ethnic background does something incredibly terrible. I just don't think that's going to happen, and I don't think it did happen. But the fact that that anti-war speech worked on on Clara Zygon, I think is a real. It's such a shame because it's such a good episode on so many levels. But still, hats off. Hats off to Peter Harness, Moffat, Capaldi for trying. And just one other thing that really annoyed me was when they were talking about bombing a evil Zygon enclave, and he's going to say, "Oh, that's going to make them all and radicalize them all." No, again, that's a real fundamental lack of understanding of other cultures. No, people don't become radicalized because they get defensively attacked by people to stop them murdering her. No, people get radicalized because they get brought up in a culture where they feel it's moral and it's the right thing to do. That it's better for your soul that you should die than you should live on as an infidel. That is their mindset. That is the reality, and that is something that's not going to change from a war speech. It's just not, And so I think they missed a trick there. But in general, it's Doctor Who, so I love Doctor Who. My name is Sela Becken, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.